Money making money making money.
Come on, you gotta tell me, how is this even possible?
It's easy. 1, you take your money and you put it in this secret spot. 2, you let that money grow with compound interest. 3, then you find a place for that money to go where it can work for you. 4, and then every Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern, you join me for a wealth webinar.
I'll do it.
It's free. Plus, if you join me now, you'll get my free ebook that teaches you to get all the money back for every car you buy, drive, and own. So take advantage of this opportunity and I'll see you there.
Hey, are you ready to take control of your financial future? Welcome to Private Money Club. Private Money Club is the ultimate online platform connecting real estate entrepreneurs with private money lenders just like you. Whether you're looking to fund your next deal or lend money to grow your wealth, Private Money Club is your go-to resource. You can post deals, find funding, connect with other like-minded professionals. It's just a community. It's a community that you need to plug into. If you're new to the game, no problem. Our Learn platform and our weekly coaching webinars and our on-demand resources are here to guide you every step of the way. Join a thriving network of real estate experts who are already making an impact, and they're waiting to partner with you. So Private Money Club gives you the tools, the training, the connections, and everything you need to achieve your financial goals. So why don't you start now by going to privatemoneyclub.com. We'll see you inside. Hey, you need to become your own bank. And it's as simple as changing one thing, and that is where your money goes first. I mean, think about it. Household debts in this country are at all-time highs. You got tons of market volatility. You got the potential for Social Security running out of money. You've got global uncertainty, political divide, and you have to figure out where you're going to put your hard-earned savings. I mean, this is one of those times in history where the rich are getting richer, and it is time to learn the secrets of the wealthy. But here's the good news. Every single Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I put on a free webinar where I teach you how to take back control of your money by teaching you how to become your own bank. So click the link below and let's get started. So let's go into the app, because the app was created after a dating site, believe it or not. So people with money and people that need money. Phone, swipe left. Swipe left. Ooh, I like that one. Swipe right. You want to go on. If you got money, you want to swipe left through all the deals. When you find one you like, boom, you're connected. How much more difficult does this really need to be? This isn't rocket science. They want you to think it is because they want control of your money. It is time to take back control of our money. I want to invite you to a free interactive webinar that we're doing to teach you how to get prepared for what's about to happen and how you can grow, preserve, and protect your wealth and get it ready for a recession or maybe the next Great Depression. So all I need you to do is click the link below. You're not going to want to miss this with all this stuff going on. Are you sick of having your money lying around not doing anything? Well, we've got the solution for you. PrivateMoneyClub.com. Back to you, Chris. So that's what it is. Private Money Club was created for you and for all of us. So I've got something special. Since you're here, you're listening to us talk to you about the infinite banking concept, I wanted to make an offer. Private Money Club is something that will benefit each of you, but we've got what's called the Accelerator. The Private Money Club Accelerator is a coaching program that takes together the knowledge that you'll need to be your own bank and puts it together with the opportunities in Private Money Club so that now you learn and apply the knowledge. Check it out. We got a very special offer for you to be part of the next Accelerator coaching program and get you into Private Money Club so your money starts working for you.
Hey everybody, it's Buff Finance Guy here, ready to show you how to make some serious gains, but not only in the gym, with your wallet too. Most people put their money in the bank doing absolutely nothing for them, but I'm gonna show you how it doesn't have to be that way. So take Andrew here. His money has just been sitting lazy in the bank, but all he has to do is change one thing, and that's where the money goes first, and everything changes. Just change where your money goes first, silly.
Wait, just one change?
Yeah, that's it. Instead of sending it to the bank, you send it to your very own banking system. Your money can grow and get stronger, just like me.
It's time for Money School TV. You heard it straight from the horse's mouth.
He's been on the fence to come to PMC Money Take. I'm telling you right now, you're missing out on a treat.
This is the ultimate watering hole for lenders and borrowers.
If you've got decent deals, you'll find the funding for it.
The networking here has been fantastic.
Absolutely phenomenal.
Tremendously beneficial.
Oh my gosh, so many people to network with.
First day, I probably met 5 or 6 people. They show me ideas, I show them ideas. We're actually on stage about 20 minutes ago, and since then, I've already had about 20 people reach out.
There are several people that I probably will be doing business with.
I have like 15 private lenders ready to fund my deals. The people here are amazing and so welcoming.
You walk in, everyone greets you right away. No one is a stranger.
It's just an amazing and comfortable place to be.
There's so much stuff that I've been able to learn that I didn't know. I've had aha moments over and over again.
They talked about normal rates of return, not 6%, we're talking about 10%, but in a way that's ethically sound and stable. It's full disclosure, but helps walk you through everything. They even talk about it on stage of like, we've already made the mistakes, so here we are, and we're teaching you to not make the same mistakes. You get to learn from us, you get to just follow our direction and just see what you can do. I've gotten great things out of the virtual events, but there's no comparison to actually coming here, experiencing the energy, and getting to meet all of the people. Everyone is here looking to grow in some capacity. Being in this environment, it allows you to feed on that and foster that.
During the event, they had a lender-borrower meet and greet, which is pretty cool. It's different when you can spend some time, have a meal together, hang out, joke around. The people are just a blast.
It's so much fun.
The community of the Money Tank PMC, the whole crew with Chris, Stephen, Jonah, everybody, and Joe, they've all helped me out. It's been changing my life.
You're gonna learn something, you're gonna meet someone, and it's definitely gonna make a big difference in your business. Not by a little bit, but by a lot.
I mean, you could stay stuck thinking you can do it on your own. There's a lot of people that I talk to is their issue, and then they come here, and I talk to them a year later, and they've grown so much just by coming to this event.
Started $15,000 in credit card debt. As of today, I have $550,000 out in private lending. That's what this teaches you.
I tell people all the time, you have to get in the room to be around the like-minded people.
Go. It's worth it.
Just come. Do it for yourself. Do it for your business.
Take action. You got to do it.
Come to the event. You don't want to miss it.
Well, the biggest thing I hope that people get is something that they can actually apply in their lives. You know, that's the biggest thing for any of these events that we want. We want people to leave here not just riled up, not just excited, but actually going out and doing something that'll put them in a better financial situation, help their family. And for the speakers, my goal is that they go out and they impact the audience and bring something the audience never had exposure to that allows them to then fill in that piece that they're looking for. I'm going to be talking about more lease options. I'm going to be talking about equity shares. I'm going to be talking about a bunch of fun stuff today. Because again, I'm not here to teach about how to do those deals. I'm here to teach about how to invest in those deals.
Filled with individuals that are like-minded, that are at the top of their craft, they're at the top of their game. And for anybody that's an attendee, it's just a mind-blowing experience.
It's almost going to be hard to speak anywhere else but here because it was such a great experience. I felt like, I don't know. It was amazing. Nothing less than amazing, literally.
At the PMC Money Tank event, which is an epic event that we're putting together that does one thing and one thing only, makes everybody money. It brings people with money together with people that need money. It's like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. You just smash them together and everybody wins.
Wednesday, 9:30, 10:30 Eastern Standard Time. Do it live! Mute, Chris, mute. What's up, guys? Hey, what the
Hey,
F is
what's
going
up,
on,
internets?
Chris?
What's up, internets?
Learn how to use the computer already, my friend. Let's go.
Oh man. Good morning. Good
We're
morning.
off to a good
James,
start already.
you got to turn your lights on back there, James.
I know I'm sitting in the shadows here. That's not really too good for my situation.
This reminds me, I don't know if you guys remember, but back during COVID, we were having a lot of fun. We brought a DJ in and we had a DJ spinning music during What the F. Do you guys remember that? Who was watching
my gosh,
the
yeah.
show?
That was
at
so much
time?
fun.
You remember that?
I do.
But it reminds me, James, of you right there because he would like be in the background with these dark walls and you couldn't see him at all.
Oh no!
All James has got to do is there's a little button on that big lamp. There's like a big hanging thing. You just got to hit that little button on it. That's all he's got to do.
Yeah, let's do that.
And it'll have "Let there be light."
Let's have a lot more light. A lot
All
more.
right, let's try this again.
Turn
5,
the little knob.
4,
Turn the
3,
knob up.
2, 1. We're going live. Go.
There
Chris.
we go. All right.
here we
What
go.
the F happens? Thanks for joining us.
Here we
another
go.
week. Yeah, this is going to be a good one. We got a lot to talk about. Gold just breached 4,200. What is that telling you? What is that telling the markets? We got Jerome Powell saying, hey, there's no easy path through this. We got rising inflation. We got a weakening economy. We got unemployment numbers going up. The narrative's playing out, but can the Fed stop it? Can they do something about it? Well, not when they're shut down. I guess we're definitely going to have to talk about a government shutdown. 14 days into a government shutdown, stalemate, if you will. It's negotiation time. Listen, I think all the people, that are sitting there that have to make decisions, they all better be reading The Art of War because that's exactly what's playing out right here. The art of war. Or is it the art of the deal? Or is there any difference between the two? Well, that's for all of you to decide. But outside of that, we got Ford doing some funny things with auto lending, and that's going to be an interesting thing to talk about. I can't quite put my finger on that one, James. I know you came up with that. But, Israel-Palestine war, is it really over? And if it is, thank God. What a monumental feat. I'd like to dive a little bit into that. Trump, somehow or they somehow organized, the end to that terrible war. But was it too late? Like all of Gaza is pretty much 85% demolished. So did they just get what they wanted? I guess there's a lot to unpack there, but nonetheless, hopefully it's all over. But with that being said, we are going to dive into this amazing session here right after this. Let's get into the economy, gentlemen. Stephen, I know this is more your topic than it is mine. So let's talk a little bit about gold. Why is gold $4,200? And how did I miss this? Like, I totally missed this whole up run. I know you didn't, but I did. But that's just because, gold's just never been my flavor. I like things that pay interest. But you know what? I'm also now regretting a lot of the decisions I made with investments. And I wish I would have went deeper into gold like you did. So talk a little bit about gold. Where do you think it's going? Why do you think it's going there? And what is this signaling to the markets?
Yeah, I mean, Chris, it's one of those things that it's not sexy. It's boring. We used to talk about it all the time on our 3-day Money School Essentials training events. But the whole idea is just, hey, if you got some extra dollars sitting around, throw them into some precious metals because it's that kind of thing that's just kind of sitting. It's warehousing your wealth. It's what we do with the specially designed whole life insurance policies when we're not using them. It's a place where the money can sit there and hopefully grow at a pace greater than the dollar is losing to inflation. And so that's what's turned out to happen over the last couple of years, especially this year. I mean, gold is up over $4,200 an ounce right now. I think it's on pace to hit 4,500. I mean, quite honestly, I didn't think we'd hit 4,000 until
me either. Yeah,
sometime in 2026, towards the end of 2026. We're there a lot quicker. Where it goes from here, who knows, man? I mean, I think that has a lot to do with what the overall economy does, what the stock market ends up doing. But silver, let's not forget about silver. Silver just broke out all-time highs. The history of silver, just over $52 an ounce now, and
that's insane.
Up over 70% year to date right now. So just unbelievable growth.
Stephen, I swear I closed my eyes and I remember I was buying silver coins not long earlier this year at 38, 36. And I'm like, man, that's high. Isn't it funny how you think that way?
Yeah, I mean, even some of the specialty coins that I get. So I buy some. Remember, I bought this when Charlie Kirk was assassinated. I bought a little commemorative coin of them, and these things sell at premiums. You know, the ones that are custom and whatnot. But what's crazy is that the spot price of silver is catching what I'm paying for these premium coins just a few months ago. So it's really amazing to see how quickly it's happening. But I think that's an overall. You could probably hit on this a lot better than I, but an overall indication of where we're going. Maybe.
Well, I mean, it doesn't take a smart person to figure it out. I mean, if gold is a store of wealth and it marks fear in the overall economy and the markets, then that should tell you exactly why gold's going up. I mean, it's going up fast. You know, speaking of coins, though, last night, my little girl, she's 5, Vivi, came up to me and she handed me this. It's a quarter, but she said, "Daddy, put this in our private bank." Like, isn't that freaking cool? She handed it to me. Now it gets even better. This morning, I put it on the nightstand last night. This morning, she, I was getting ready to leave and she hands it to me. She's like, "Daddy, you forgot your coin." I just thought that was cute.
That is awesome. Well, the thing is, that's the importance of teaching your loved ones at a young age, so that this is a less of a hurdle for them to learn about infinite banking, to learn about budgeting. You know, we always, a lot of people like to blame the schools. Oh, well, they never taught me that in schools. Well, guess what? Now that you know the knowledge, why aren't you trying to talk to your loved ones, your family members, heck, even some of your enemies about all of these different principles about the ways that money's works? And it could be just as something as small as a quarter. It could be a commemorative coin, but it all falls under securing your legacy, your stability, and your families as well.
Yeah, man. And James, the last thing I'll say about precious metals is, it's one of those things that I feel like it's never a bad time to buy. I mean, we're at all-time highs. Usually you want to buy low, sell high. But to me, precious metals is one of those things I just buy, I stick away, and I forget about. So I honestly couldn't even tell you what I own. Like, I'm not looking. I don't care. I'm not selling it. It's there for the future. And someday I'll open it up and hopefully be delightfully surprised on what I have. But that's just the way I look at it, just personally speaking.
So, Steve, are you like, do you have an eye patch? I know you're down in Florida. You're not too far from Tampa Bay. Are you like an undercover pirate and you've got this little treasure chest somewhere at your house? And if so, where do you live?
It's funny you say that. So I live Tampa's on the west coast of Florida, but I do live on the east coast of Florida. And the area that I live is called the Treasure Coast, believe it or not. So the Treasure Coast, because back in the day, history is not my thing, but 15, 16, 1700s, when all the ships were coming over to the U.S., the 1800s, they would run ashore because the Atlantic sea coast becomes very shallow. There's rocks in this area. So the boats would come wash ashore, they'd wreck, and there's still tons of treasure boats that they've yet to find. They actually just made a discovery like 2 weeks ago. Somebody found millions of dollars of treasure just a couple of weeks ago. It happened. So every few years you'll see these treasure hunters that find another discovery, and it all happens within 30 miles of my house. It's pretty cool.
So there we go, guys. All of you who are looking for a place to invest in your money, invest in sunken treasure ships out by Nagy's house. And please don't take this as financial advice.
All right. Well, let's move on to the next topic in the economy, and that is Jerome Powell and his Fed has no risk-free path as unemployment and inflation rise. So
just real fast, sorry, I'll just show you. So this is the one that they just found. So October 3rd. So what was that, 2 weeks ago?
Oh my gosh, that's all gold?
Yeah, the shipwreck. It's gold.
What?
All kinds of classic coins.
What? Hey, man, I may have to invest in one of these treasure
More than
ships.
1,000 silver and gold coins thought to be minted in the Spanish colonies in Bolivia, Mexico, and Peru were uncovered this summer in 1750 fleet. So 1715 fleet. So quite a long time ago. Pretty cool, though, right?
Sign me up.
Yep.
Sign me up. I know.
Is that the guy that went down and got him? So, like, how does that work when you go in international waters and you pull up a treasure? Is it yours?
It's yours. Yep.
Pretty cool. And then you have to pay tax on that, I would assume.
I don't know the rules. They end up giving a lot of it to museums and whatnot. So I don't know. Maybe that offsets some, but I'd have to look into
sure
it.
They
It's
donate.
very cool. Like, you would think that everything was already discovered, this day and age, but they're still finding it out there all the time.
The ocean's pretty darn deep, man. And like, I don't think anything's been discovered really in the grand scheme of it. Yeah, just like the Fed hasn't discovered how to actually save the economy, even though so many people think, oh, the Fed's going to save us this time. Well, they were a little late this time to the game. So let's talk a little bit about what Jerome Powell's saying. If you pull the article up, saying the U.S. economy faces serious threats regardless of the approach the central bank takes to bringing down interest rates. What are you guys' thoughts? Or no thoughts at all?
Oh, definitely thoughts. The thing is, the U.S. is kind of stuck in a situation where they know how to handle inflation. All right, we just adjust these rates, and people will start to save. But we said this before: the basement is flooding while the roof is on fire. Meaning that we have inflation, but we also have people who are not leaving jobs. We have people who just aren't in the job market whatsoever. And they need to be able to evolve, because right now we have so much AI and a lot of entry level jobs which are being taken up into the economy. So now people are graduating. They're like, I cannot become gainfully employed, and I can't get the experience for me to be able to be gainfully employed in some of these mid-tier jobs. So that is not the Fed's responsibility, but inflation, unfortunately, is something that the Fed has a little bit of leniency for, but it's just not enough.
Yeah.
And just kind of read a little bit about what they're saying. So Fed's Palace from CNBC, Fed's Palace suggests tightening program could end soon, opens door to rate cuts. To Chris's point, seems like we're a little late on that, but Federal Reserve Powell said the central bank is nearing a point where it will stop reducing the size of its bond holdings, but gave no long run indication of where interest rates are heading. Though balance sheet questions are in the weeds for monetary policy, they matter to financial markets. Powell generally stuck to the recent script of the economy and interest rates, that policymakers are concerned that labor market is tightening and skewing the balance of risks between employment and inflation, like James was just saying. So those are kind of the key points there.
Anytime you play with a fiat system like we're in, and there's a lot to unpack on this, and there's a lot of research and stuff you can do just by reading some books and some stuff on how this works. But effectively, when we went off the gold standard to a straight fiat, and just so you know, the whole world for the most part is straight fiat. The fractional reserve banking system. I mean, the Fed, has just made a lot of mistakes. Fed, government, whatever you want to do, the cahoots of the two, even though they say they're not in cahoots, they are. With the massive printing of money during COVID, you literally created an environment where the inevitable is. It's got to happen. Like you cannot pump $5+ trillion into the economy. Much of that money, which has never been figured out where it went, but that's a whole nother story. You pump all this money into the economy, you shut the country down, the world for that point, and then everybody, starts saving money, paying down debt, because there was nothing else to do, using PPP monies and all these checks that they got. Then all of a sudden the country opens back up. Everybody slowly, very slowly goes back to work. You have massive employment, very low unemployment numbers. Everybody starts spending like wild, drunken, cracked out sailors. Notice how I added the cracked out. Normally it's just drunken sailors, but we had to go another level. So we added the crack in there because, here's your brain on crack. Remember that commercial?
Oh yeah.
Anyway, you get the drift. So now we're sitting, within almost all, I'm not gonna say all, but most Americans have debts, very severe debts. You got extremely high prices due to inflation, which is something that just happens when you print a whole bunch of money. I mean, that just happens. Then all of a sudden the Fed was slow to act. Like you saw the writing on the wall, you saw things happen. You had some tension between the Fed and Trump. And here we are. We're at the end of a long-term debt cycle, the end of a technology cycle, and the short-term debt cycle has been over for a while, but you could even say that we've gone 2 short-term debt cycles since the last. So here's the good news. You paint it off to be such a bad thing. The economy's going down, probably going to land in some form of a recession. It's going to suck. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. But you all have an opportunity, unique opportunity right here, right now to get ahead. Literally, like if you just stop taking risks, if you stop keeping your money in the markets, thinking the markets are going to go to the moon, which, listen, I know some of you are thinking, oh yeah, but if I listened to you, Chris, 2 years ago or a year and a half ago, I would have lost all these gains. No, you wouldn't have lost. Yes, you would have lost out on the gains, but you know what? You're about to give most of them back anyway. So wouldn't it have been a nicer, smoother ride just sitting on the sidelines? So that's what I did. And I'll tell you, it's been nice and quiet and predictable. And it's just been, my money's been going up in a straight line. None of this up, down stuff. Now, do I wish I invested in Bitcoin and got out a little bit later than I did? Yeah. Do I wish I had invested in gold and, had the opportunity to do all this? Yeah. But you know what? Did pretty well. got lots of treasury bonds, which are positioned for the next one. None of this is financial advice. It's just, you got to pick your path. But like at a certain point, you got to remember Warren Buffett said, buy low, sell high, and don't lose money. Like, this is your off ramp. Like, I was on the thruway today and I missed an off ramp and I'm like, son of a pup. Like, and then I had to go to the next off ramp and it was super busy and traffic and construction. But you know what? I got off. That's where you're at. It's going to be super busy. Like you got off at the wrong exit, but get off, sit in cash, because this whole slowdown, everything you're hearing being talked about here it's going to pave the way for just massive opportunities. Companies that are ready for this, companies that are positioned for this, and folks, there are lots of them. Okay. And people positioned for this. And I would say we as a company are one of them. We will be able to take market share like no tomorrow. I mean, the art of war played out right in front of us. I mean, we'll be able to go out and get market share. We'll be able to go out and buy out other firms and other companies. And lots of other companies will do this. It's just, will you have the opportunity to invest in the companies that were positioned correctly? And you won't if you skip this exit ramp. That's all I have to say about that.
Great way to put that, Chris, for sure. Definitely.
Well, I mean, shall we move on to what the heck is going on with corporate housing programs? I think this is kind of cool. I think this is a really good perk. Like for the longest time, it's been, oh, you'll come work for us and you get your health insurance, which is a great perk right now. Oh, we'll give you a 401k. Not so great, but we'll match it 3 to 4%, safe harbor, whatever. But now, they got corporate housing programs going on. I think this is freaking great because housing is just unaffordable right now. What is your take on this?
Oh, yeah. So you look at a lot of companies, especially those in like San Francisco, where the price of a 2-family 1-bed in a moderate neighborhood is going to go for $1.5 million. And companies are realizing that there's a sincere housing need for people if they're going to attract top talent. So they're saying, hey, look, Joe or Jane employer, what we're going to do is we're going to give you $50,000, $100,000 towards your down payment to buy a house. Because if the person actually owns the house and actually sets roots within that city or whatever region, they're more likely to stay as a long-term employee, which is what a lot of these companies want. They don't want high turnover. They want to keep their skilled employees. And there's only such a small breadth of how many different benefits and options that they can actually provide for them. So yeah, sure, you can get a 401k. Maybe you can get a few stock options later on down the line. But what is important is in showing a new way to invest in people for the long term. And we've seen this across certain governments, localized governments. We've seen this in hospitals, and we've seen this basically develop. And eventually, I do see like some of the big tech firms that are out there in Silicon Valley. I believe that they're going to be able to adopt this method because we know they have a lot of money. But the opposite to this is, are you guys familiar with like Ford City and Fordville, where basically Henry Ford said, you know what, we're going to build this entire city and everybody's going to be employed by this particular company. It's going to be
Elon's
great.
doing the same thing.
Oh yeah. That can go sideways. Look up Ford City. Look what happened there. It was a massive failure. And right now in China, that's what some of these companies do. And people live, breathe, and die by the company. And that is the long-term negative effect of something like this. So granted, hey, help us out with our down payments. Help people be able to achieve the quote unquote American dream. Just make sure that their dream doesn't get turned into a nightmare and they get locked up into these homes that they honestly can't afford, or they are in super long-term debt to just the banks and the company too.
I definitely have some things to say on that, but I do want to commend Stephen, who's operating the little levers there. StreamYard obviously got some new features. That was pretty freaking sweet. Like James was big, but then, you had the article overlay over them. Dude, this is getting to be just like a TV or like a news station. This is pretty amazing. What do you got there, Stephen?
Well, I mean, just something has to happen. So I don't know if it's companies and governments that are paying for cheap loans for down payments, but something has to happen. I mean, I just saw something recently. The average age for a first-time home buyer is like 38 years old or something right now. Like, that is wild. I mean, that basically means, young people that are having families trying to live the American dream, or home ownership's a big part of that American dream. And like you said, James, like, it keeps people grounded. It makes you care more about your community. In my opinion, it builds a foundation. Like the fact that I own a home in the little town that I live in makes me feel so much more part of it, because I do know people that are renting, and guess what happens when that landlord wants to sell or they want to raise the rent to a level you can't, they're gone. They have to move. And I just had friends that almost had to leave the area because they couldn't afford the rent here anymore because it's gone up so much, where, because I bought a home 7-8 years ago, my mortgage is the same, it doesn't change. And so it's wild, all the advantages. So it really is a sad thing. And what happens, I mean, you look at this chart, you look at 2008, I mean, everybody talks about the huge housing collapse in 2008 and how devastating it was and how many people lost so much because of it, and it affected the entire economy and everything else. But that looks like barely a little blurb to me at the end of the day, compared to what could happen. Or if it doesn't happen, housing's just going to be forever not affordable now for young people. I mean, the best of two evils. I mean, I don't know which way.
And how much of that plays into the big investment banking houses and hedge funds that were buying up all these houses, right? Like, how much does that play into the factor here? And are they going to hold those? Are they going to dump those? Are they going to crash real estate by just massive sells of them, like Zillow? They got themselves in trouble. But I don't think you got people like BlackRock, Blackstone. I don't think they're in any kind of trouble. So they could just hold them, which potentially could keep the market higher for longer. And then all of a sudden you just squeeze out the middle class from home ownership. I mean, is that what the plan is? I mean, sometimes you just got to go into that little conspiracy mind, and start thinking, sort of seems to make a whole lot of sense that this is all planned. But then you're like, nah, none of it's planned.
Look, I mean, this growth right here was all caused from 0% interest rates,
That's
essentially.
Correct.
And then we had, there was a possible correction coming. Obviously, COVID hits. Go back to 0 interest rates, pump trillions of dollars in the economy, shot everything, inflation to double digits and highest in our lifetime, everything else. But, they can't keep the no interest rates going because it causes this inflation. They can't keep injecting money. So where do we go from here?
I don't know. Well, can I just go back to the one thing about the Ford housing and, all this stuff? Here's the thing that I've come to realize. It's taken me 48 years of my life. And literally it's only been recently that I've actually put my finger on this and figured it out. People do not value things that they get for free. End of story. I'll give you a perfect example. When we launched the Vault, we had all sorts of plans with the Vault, and we went out and we were seeking, and the Vault is just a software, like a GPS for the infinite banking concept. It's revolutionary software. And we just thought, okay, let's test this. Let's go out and get a bunch of beta testers. And just so you all know, beta testers traditionally are free users, right? You give them the software and you say, hey, go use this. And here's the things to use it for. And hey, can you give us feedback? So we did this with about 100 people. 100 people that asked to be beta users, that had case studies to use this for. We got almost 0 feedback. And when we looked and seen how many of them were using it, it was less than 10%, not even. It was probably like less than 5%. So we had given this to them for free. And the plan was, like, for all of our clients, that started with us, we would give them the software for free for 6 months, and then they would start paying for it. That was like the original plan. But then we said, you know what, we're not getting what we need here. So what we did is we did a soft rollout of the software for paying users. And we offered it out there. And, today we have over 300 users. We haven't even launched the software to the public, but all the users today are paying members. What do you think the usage of the software is with paying members? It's almost 100%, because they value it, because they're paying for it. And what do you think was the result? We're getting so much feedback that is literally escalating the progression of the development in the software at lightning speeds. So that back to the housing, right? James, to what you said, like, it failed. Why? Well, number one, these things were just given to the employees, okay? And it's a novel idea. It really is. It's great. Like, housing's unaffordable, but you just give them something, they don't value it. Then all of a sudden, they just spend all the excess money that they should have been saving to spend on the mortgage when the free ride's over, but they don't. And just like you said, then they had to pay for it. They didn't value it, and they just said, I shouldn't have to pay for this. It's entitlement. And now we could unpack the entire problem of the United States of America and just about every country, including all socialist countries, of giving people things for free never works. you have to have value in what they have to see value in it. And value comes from them exchanging something for it, a means of exchange. And it doesn't have to be money. It could be time. It could be energy. But there's got to be some equitable exchange for people to value something. Now, again, I'm not saying this as the holy grail, if you will, of how all things are, but like it sure is the case. When there's a law. Is it the Sutton law? No. Steve, you know the law out of the Nelson Asher's book where, people once a luxury, now a necessity. I think that is the Willie Sutton law. Maybe.
Okay.
Not. Anyway, keep going. I'm going.
Well, that's what it talks about. Well, I mean, thanks for bringing that up there, Chris, because it is true. Like, people pay more for what they really value, and once they value something, they look to use it a lot more. And we want to make sure that people offer that. But if you do want to look into the vault, make sure that you check that out, because it's going to be able to change a lot of people's lives. You'll be able to put a portion of your finances on autopilot just by figuring out how, it'll chart everything out there for you with that. And I'm sure somebody will put a link in there for you.
Parkinson's law.
Parkinson's. There we go.
There we go. Parkinson's law.
Yeah. So
Willie Sutton law is Willie Sutton, the bank robber. Why do you rob banks? Because that's where the money is.
That's where the money is.
And Nelson Nash said one of his favorites quotes from that is, "A luxury once enjoyed becomes a necessity."
Yeah. There we go. All right. Well, we gotta move on to the next part of this. But before we do, let's not forget that today is October 15th. And that means your taxes are due, bitches. That's right. That means your taxes are due, even though the government is shut down. So do not think that the government shutdown is going to buy you an extension on paying your taxes. If you don't pay them today, boy, those penalties are severe. And with that being said, what we're going to do is we're going to move on to the next segment, one of my favorite.
My fellow Americans.
So you know the thing.
The dance.
Oh, yes, the dance. Did you want to share that about you were sharing something, Stephen, about taxes?
Yeah. So just to your point, tax extension filings still due on October 15th, despite government shutdown. Despite the U.S. government remaining closed, taxpayers who requested a filing extension from IRS earlier this year remain on the hook to submit their income by October 15th. They should continue to file, deposit, and pay federal income taxes as they normally would. In a typical year, about 20 million Americans, 13% of all taxpayers ask for the extension, and that is due today.
That's amazing. And, I thought that was kind of funny. Did you all notice, like, as soon as Stephen pulled the article up, what was the very first pop-up?
JetBlue. Get a credit card.
Did you see that? Get a credit card. Get a credit card. If you can't pay your taxes, get a credit card. If you can't buy food, get a credit card. If you can't afford the car, get a credit card. All right, let's move on to this one I haven't fully unpacked, so I'm going to kind of turn this over to you, gentlemen. But First Brands has got a little bit of a problem, and it's kind of signaling an implosion. So, James, Stephen, you want to hit this corporate collapse that's happening right now?
Absolutely. So, First Brands is a automotive brand that represents Fram oil filters. I'm sure a lot of you guys, you gearheads out there,
love those things, man. Those little twisty orange ones.
Yeah, the twisty orange one. You put them onto your oil filter. Well, guess
Stephen,
what?
you don't know anything about what they look like, do you? You're like,
drive
nope,
a
never
Tesla.
touched
What
an
do you
engine in
know?
my life. Got to
You
get your
hippie.
fingers a little greasy and dirty every once in a while, man. Fram is the oil filter. Sorry.
Absolutely. Well, they went bankrupt, and they were showing a lot of signs about something amiss. Their CEO would be on a Zoom call, and he would just completely blank out his camera. He wouldn't even show his face on camera. And they had leveraged a lot of money from private equity firms, from firms that didn't have to represent on their balance sheets. And they were extremely over leveraged to the tune of a few billion. And now this brings up a huge question. With private equity, with a lot of these private lending and secret banks, let's call them, they don't follow the same type of rules that a traditional bank does. So they can say, we understand your brand, we understand what you guys represent, we'll go ahead and lend you the money without really doing thorough enough due diligence and saying, hey, look, you don't meet this price to earnings ratio that we're looking for, and we'll take this massive valuation that you have and just go ahead and run with it. Well, First Brands is just one of many brands that has gotten loans from a lot of these private lending institutions. And it can signal the alarm and say, hey, look, a lot of these other brands may fall as well. First Brands is just one of them. So we have to be concerned about that. Is the companies that we're employed by, a lot of you people out there that are employed that are still W-2, is your company backed by a private lending institution, and are they over leveraged? And that's something that should be definitely looked at.
Well, somebody just said Fram. Actually, somebody that would know, Justin, said Fram is not an oil filter. So I have to check.
Oh, is it an air filter? What does Fram do? They got a
swear
cap.
that Fram was the orange oil. Yes, it is.
Yeah, we're not drunk. It's only 9 o'clock in the morning here. We're not drunk yet.
Listen, Justin, I know you work on cars every day of the week, so I got nothing on you, but I'm gonna pull one on you right now. I'm gonna pull one on you. Fram oil filters, man. Did I nail that? There it is, that little bugger. Look at that. That's the one.
There we go. Yes.
Right. Righty tighty, lefty loosey. I love those things. All right. Anyway, enough about Fram. Arguing about Fram oil filters.
Mm-hmm.
I'll stick with the beach while you guys are climbing on our cars.
Oh man. All right, so let's move on. What else do we got to talk about here?
Oh, he said they're not good, is what he's saying there.
He said they're not good. I don't know, man. They were, back in the day when I was actually twisting those things on, changing my own oil. Like I didn't care. It was whatever one was the cheapest, and I would probably bet because they're crappy made. China made. They're probably pretty inexpensive. So that's why I bought them. But I liked them because they were orange, man. I'm all about orange. Like look at all the orange here.
Yeah, they were like the first ones to really advertise to the mass market, and it had big orange caps, so of course it must be pretty cool. Like you'd watch them on the Power Block, right, on TNT or whatever it was, the Nashville network.
Anyway, I'm sure you're all here to learn about Fram oil filters, but you don't need to worry about Fram oil filters. The company is bankrupt.
Well, how about what Jamie's saying about the whole deal?
Private credit sector.
So JP Morgan boss says more cockroaches will emerge after private credit sector failures.
Well, it's like dominoes, right? Like I almost feel like sometimes, like you talk about private equity and private credit. I almost feel like it's one giant Ponzi, like as money's coming in from all the investors coming in because they want the big returns. But when the big returns aren't there, the cockroaches, as he's referring, they start scurrying away. Anyone ever see cockroaches when you disturb them? They just, I don't know, but I've seen TV shows about that.
A lot of us don't want to be reminded of cockroaches. That's a very traumatizing thing.
Well, it's very similar to what's going on.
They outlived us, James. You better pay attention to those cockroaches and how they've done it because they've outlived us. You can't kill those little buggers.
Not at
all.
And
you shouldn't. Hey, just let them go about living their life because someday you'll regret hurting those little bugs.
It's very similar to what's going on in the AI world. I feel like though, right?
Oh,
now.
Dude.
Speak on it, Steve. We agree. Speak on that, Steve.
We just talked about this the last couple of weeks, and it's just more and more coming out about it. So a guide to the $1 trillion worth of AI deals between each other. So, I mean, every week there's a new visual just showing the cobwebs of conspiracy of how this money is flowing, interweaving between each other.
Same freaking dollars being washed over and over again.
Might as well just draw a pyramid.
Yeah. There's an old Three Stooges sketch where it's like, hey, you owe me $10. Can I borrow $10? And they all weave the money amongst each other. That's literally what's going on. And I love my tech stuff. I love
Steven's on it. He's going to pull that up. We're going to show you exactly how AI and all these tech companies are operating with the simple three. Sometimes you want the truth. All you got to do is go back into the old movies, and it's all right there.
Absolutely.
You got it, Steven?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's play it.
Yeah, this is absolutely perfect here.
All right, here we go. Share this tab instead. Here we go.
And speaking of money, how about the $20 you owe me?
Oh, yeah? Well, I only got 10, so here's 10, I owe you 10.
Thanks.
Hey, Mo, you owe me 20.
Well, here's 10, I'll owe you 10.
You owe me 20.
Here's 10, I owe you 10.
Here's the 10 I owe you.
Here's the 10 I owe you.
Here's the 10 I owe you. Good, now we're all even.
Brought to you by NVIDIA. Oracle.
Yeah, brought to you by NVIDIA.
Oh, boy.
Oh, my gosh. We can all laugh about that, but isn't that exactly what's going on right now? That is exactly what has been going on. So hey, it's way simpler than we make it out to be. Just keep exchanging money. Here you go. Here you go. Here you go. Here you go. We're all good. Good. Oh boy. All right.
Mind you, so far with all this money and all the stuff that they're investing, the hundreds of trillions of dollars, I think OpenAI is worth some odd $1 trillion right now, even though they're their actual profits and their actual gains are only a fraction of that. It's all on this elevated value. And some economics even speculate, and some techno people speculate, the actual amount of value that they're going to produce is going to be far less than that. So what if we're all running to this huge AI gold rush? And yes, it will help out in terms of entertainment and research and how we view the internet. But is this valuation rooted in any type of fact? And some people are arguing no. The only people that are getting rich are going to be the ones that are just selling the shovels in this amazing dream.
No, the ones that are going to get rich are the ones creating the thing that creates the thing. And more on that later, but that's going to be the one. So I mean, listen, like, this is a pretty simple thing to understand. Go back to the late 90s, early 2000s, before the dot-com crash. Identical. All those companies had billion. I mean, back then it wasn't trillions, it was billions, but same thing as today being trillions, $1 billion valuations. And they didn't sell a thing. They were valuing clicks. They were valuing insignificant, just kind of like, I don't want to pick on Bitcoin too much, but like there's no intrinsic value. Hence why Warren Buffett avoids it. And why, I just got a question this morning. Somebody said, hey, how come those giant mutual insurance companies aren't buying Bitcoin? Well, because there's no intrinsic value and they're too volatile for their investment plans. See, insurance companies invest within a very strategic and very conservative investment plan. And Bitcoin, although a good investment by all accounts, if you look at where it's at and where it was, like, made a ton of money, but it doesn't fit their investment plan, so they don't invest in it. Same thing with Warren Buffett. And I'm not saying Bitcoin is a good or bad investment, not giving you investment advice. It's just, it is what you want, what it is. And if there's no intrinsic value to it. So when you look at a lot of these companies like OpenAI, I mean, what do they actually own, right? Like, what do they actually own? A bunch of code. That has value, no question about it. The IP is very valuable. Yep. Technology, but the technology that a lot of these AI companies, and we'll pick on the Mag 7, a lot of those companies, they're creating technology that doesn't produce revenue. And literally, I'll tell you, in a day in the not so far off future, all things AI will be free. Google will make them all free because they will control the data. The data is where the dollars are. And, but like all the stuff that people think of is so valuable with AI, it's soon going to be free. I mean, what they created 2-3 years ago in AI that they charged a fortune for, now you get it for free, like ChatGPT. So is there really value in it? Well, there is, but it's not in the underlying AI. It's in what AI does or what AI builds that then creates the thing, right? The thing that creates the thing.
Exactly. And one final blind spot that a lot of people are overlooking is they're dumping massive money into buying these chips from NVIDIA and buying portions of AMD, their biggest rival. But Chris, you know this all too well. These chips, what is their shelf life of these chips, and how long do they actually last? Man. You just bought a computer.
You got quantum computing coming. Like, all of it will be irrelevant when quantum computing comes, I would think. Now, listen, I don't know that to be true, but like, I don't know. I mean, is the shelf life 3 months, 6 months? Is it a year?
Yeah, I mean, within 2 years, you're going to have to rebuy all of these chips. So it's feeding this huge dragon that is never going to be satiated. And is there going to be any ROI? What is going to be the ROI other than our attention? What type of ROI are they going to be able to get from this?
Yeah, I mean, if you think about, James, if you think about computers and you think about phones, like every year they're putting new chips in, like Mac, Apple and Mac, they went from one chip to another chip, and like the price jumped up, and like, I don't know, it's a little bit better, I suppose, but the shelf life. Stephen, what do you think about that stuff? I mean, is it just one giant like hype that's about to crash? Are we going to see another .com crash?
I mean, I think they're going to do everything they can not to make that happen. I mean, if we look at what OpenAI is doing, they just said yes to erotica, so basically allowing porn into AI.
Are you serious? I don't even know what erotica is, but
sounds
very erotic.
A wider range of content, eventually including erotica. Now that OpenAI has completed work to enable the chatbot to better handle mental health issues, the move could OpenAI. I mean, everybody knows that how much of the internet is made up of porn users, right? Isn't that a thing? Like, where it's tons and tons.
I didn't know that, but sure.
So I think they're looking to add that into AI and make that as the thing that keeps it pushing. So I don't think it's going anywhere anytime soon.
I don't think it's going anywhere. It's more just how valuable is it? Is it as valuable as they're saying, or is this just one giant money laundering scheme of money going around and around? It's the same dollars. I mean, that's the real question. But let's get to another question of Ford Motor Car. Like, I gotta love Fords. Like, I love when I see, just the other day, friend of mine, very, very successful man, pulls up in a Ford F-150. And he's in a full suit, like, him and his wife, they look like $1 million, which they're worth millions and millions of bucks, but they pull up in an F-150. It's kind of cool that, since The Millionaire Next Door, but even before that, like, Ford F-150 trucks have literally been a status symbol of the quiet millionaires. And I love that. But Ford is doing something unique. They're literally targeting buyers with subprime credit, which basically means your credit's in the tank. Your credit's dog shit. Matter of fact, in September 2025, Ford announced a special promotion for F-150s, basically offering them special incentives if their FICO score was below a 620. Please tell me where that makes any bloody sense. Now, the only thing I can think of is they're offering special promotions, which basically means it's still high interest, but it's a better interest rate. Is that what's going on here? And does that diminish the brand?
They got to pump these F-150s out. They have to keep them moving. Ford needs to make their sales. And if they have these cars sitting on lots, the only people that are going to be making money are the banks. So they need to be able to move these cars out, and maybe having a little bit of exposure is going to be able to help, people on the line actually, keep their jobs, and Ford won't have to announce any type of layoffs. Is it a risky move? Absolutely. And car companies and automotive companies have done this in the past. The question is, to what extent? And also, let's look at how it looks for Ford as a company. Now Ford gets to look as like this great American savior that cares about the everyman, the person who maybe made a few poor financial decisions, and helping them get back on track. I mean, you could still go to a dealership with bad credit, and there are lenders out there who will take you on as a risk. But yes, you're going to be taking 20, 25, in some cases 28% interest rates on these loans, and these companies still exist. So
how many of you know somebody who's got a car loan that's literally north of 10%? Does anyone know somebody? Because I certainly know people. And when I hear that, I'm like, wait, you're paying how much? Like 18%. I physically know somebody and they drive a Ford, as a matter of fact, that pays 18% interest on their car.
Incredible.
Man, get a bicycle. Sorry, but like, get a bicycle. I know it's going to be a long ride. Leave earlier. Like, holy crap. Yeah.
I paid like 22% once when I was like 17 years old on a motorcycle that I had to have. So,
I think of that. I'm just like, man, how valuable is what we teach with the infinite banking concept and becoming your own banker? Like if you're paying 18% to Ford Motor Credit or whatever that is, Ford Credit, like, imagine if you just saved money in your own private banking system and saved up enough to pay off that Ford Motor loan and you recaptured 18%, dude, like, people take on significant amounts of risk to make 18%. And here people could just make that just by paying off their car and being their own bank.
I mean, Dexter said it best. People are payment buyers. Interest rate doesn't matter.
Absolutely.
And I've told this story before, but when I was in high school, my dad had a used car dealership, one of those buy here, pay here lots where we had all in-house financing, and we would charge the highest rate legally allowed, which was 29.9% to finance these vehicles. People did not even question it. We actually did a promotion one time where we offered 0% financing and had all these big promotions and all this big marketing going out. Guess what? Nobody cared. They just came in, they asked one thing: how much is the monthly payment? That's all that they want. And so they get away with this stuff, charging those 18% rates. No,
listen, I get it. And when you're your own bank, you can pick and choose how much you want your damn payment to be.
And Nagy, that brings up a good
join
point.
us. Actually, hold on that. Any of you want to see what we mean by this? I wasn't doing this intentionally, but hey, why not? Never let a good opportunity pass by. Like this afternoon at 1 p.m. Eastern, we're doing Wealth Webinar, which we do every Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern. And we're going to be showing you all how my mom just bought out her lease with her own private banking. And we're going to go into how, when you own the bank, you make the rules. Like she was used to paying $399.98, didn't want to pay a penny more. And, like when we looked at the different cars, like they were all like $400 or $500 a month, at least even the some of the cheaper cars over there at GM. So she basically was able to finance her own car with her own private banking system. She's now making payments back to her bank. She'll get all the money back for her car. Plus she'll make I'm trying to think of the exact number. I think it's over $8,000 in interest she will make by paying herself what she used to pay GM Financial, and her payment did not change. It's really powerful to be your own bank and control the rules and terms, because that's it. It was just a terms thing. So join us this afternoon. We'll show you exactly how we did that, but we'll also show you how Marius on our team did the same thing and bought this really cool Genesis. But that's this afternoon at 1 o'clock.
Oh yeah.
All right. What else? Well, we can't miss this. I mean, as we kind of climb down to the last 15 minutes, we got to talk about the government shutdown. We've kind of mentioned it, but 14 days solid, 14 straight days. And Stephen, who's not getting paychecks? I know TSA is, and I just was flying this week. Now, my flights, I want to tell you, I don't ever give shout outs to airlines because I usually hate them all. But Southwest, I literally, I'm going to say I was part of a study, a very special study that Southwest must have been doing, where the flights, every one of them, were absolutely perfect. I mean, perfect. Left early, arrived early. They boarded the planes perfectly without any issues. No one got punched in the face. There was one gentleman, he was so funny at the front, directing traffic, telling people not to hit other people in the face with their bags, but did in such a cool way. But everything in those flights was perfect. So it had to be a study, because I don't think that happens, does it, Stephen? No turbulence, nothing, just perfect flights.
Awesome. Go Southwest.
More shutdown.
I feel like I was in a simulator, Stephen. I don't even think I was.
They're not able to manipulate the weather right now because there's no money for it in the shutdown. So we get smooth sailing. See, there's no. I look up in the sky, all of a sudden there's no chemtrails. What's going on?
I never thought about that.
Just a joke, James. But seriously, there's also I'm just saying coincidences happen. There's a comet right now coming towards the Earth that some people say might not be a comet, but I'm just saying this, James. Whenever it got close enough where we were getting ready to start taking pictures of it and really starting to study it, guess what? That's the day that the government shutdown started, and we can no longer monitor this comet. That's coming.
I need to see this. I need to see this now. I'm completely vested in this story. I need to look it up now. Thank you, Stephen. You made my day.
Goodness. Now everybody that's watching this is going to go start looking for a comet.
It came from Florida, ladies and gentlemen. That's all I could say.
Perfect flights, no chemtrails. Can't monitor this comet coming at us. You tell me.
Well, is the comet kicking off any chemtrails? Then we'll know who's coming.
That's what I'm worried about.
Yeah, that's my biggest concern.
Do we have any government?
Is that comet kicking off chemtrails, man?
Let's find out if it's still safe to fly. So the short of air traffic controllers at some airports during the U.S. government shutdown may have travelers wondering if it's anything about as they board their flight, anything to worry about. Flight delays in some parts have ticked up. Not for you though, Chris, but basically with TSA, with these flight traffic,
a bunch of lanes shut down.
I guess they do not get paid. However, they are still required to work. So they are deemed essential, meaning they must continue screening travels and maintaining airport security. Even when federal funding lapses, despite being required to work, they will receive no pay until the shutdown ends. So that does put them in a bad
terrible situation. Terrible situation. Yeah. I mean, I've heard that some parts of the military, they only have about 3 months of budget. Don't quote me on that. And let's just do what these other countries do. If you're not able to come to an agreement on a budget, we run with the old budget until a new budget can come in place.
I say for every day they stay shut down, all Congress's pay also shuts down, and they have to get money back.
Heck yeah, that'll get them right back to.
They'll be right back.
Watch that.
Yep. No issues, none whatsoever. Crazy. All right, well, let's move on to the next one, which is WTF world, and we got a lot to unpack here. All right, we're talking Israel here. We never talk Israel. I really don't understand all the stuff that's going on. I never agree with any of that. But Israel and Palestine, supposedly, there is a peace treaty. Do tell. I've been seeing a lot about this. I think, if Trump, orchestrated this and negotiated this, how do you how can anyone be upset with that? But I watched the video, and I know this could just be AI, but there was a guy that was complaining that it was over because he said now he can't get paid anymore. He doesn't know how he's going to pay for his rent because he's not going to get paid to protest. Are people getting paid to protest?
I haven't heard about it.
That's the right answer. That is the right answer. I don't know.
Could be. Could be.
Maybe.
But I mean, what is the general consensus of the
stand out there and protest? You never can tell with that dude.
Right. What is the general consensus of the people? A lot of people are, free Palestine. They want wars to end. So if they want wars to end, how could you not be against this? Even people who are staunchly anti-Trump are saying, hey, look, good job. And now Trump is on the cover of Time magazine. So he did.
Did he make Time magazine?
It's the worst photo I've ever seen of him in my life. And
every photo, like he doesn't really. Most photos are bad. He's kind of got that look. I love it.
He's always scowling.
That's his thing, man. That's his thing. Like he's not trying to like be there and be like, "Hey, hi." He's just got that. Oh, did you see where he shook like the French?
And the guy wouldn't let go of his hand.
Did you see his hand?
He's French. Yeah, you got to give him.
Awesome. You could tell like he was tapping on Trump's hand. He's like, "Got it, okay." And then Trump went for the this one. He's
the
like,
double grab.
I love that, man. Show the strength.
Yeah, there's a lot of problems going on in France, but we could talk about that next week.
Trump was like, "You're a little bitch."
Well, he's. I think that's where we should be sending our money, not Argentina. But that's also another topic for another day. But I mean, he ended the war. We're going to see if it actually sticks. There's been talks of treaties, and we've actually seen some levels of releases with the prisoners and the hostages. So let's hope that this sticks, because I believe everybody can agree that the Israel-Palestine conflict needs to end ASAP. But now we're going to have another type of tinfoil hat to look at, and it's who's going to be in charge of the reconstruction and who's going to make the money off of it as well.
Well, I mean, you can go back in time and history and you can figure that one out. Just look at World War II. We rebuilt. We did. Yeah. And why? Well, look at the monetary side of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you can start figuring things out. The only sad thing is, it's just like Israel demolished about 85% of Gaza. Like if you look at photos of Gaza before and after, which I just did last night, it's sickening. It's sickening. So, I mean, yeah, I know there's a peace treaty and I'm glad it happened, but like, why didn't it happen sooner? Why did so many people have to die? Like, what was it even for? Now I know that they've been at war forever, but that you can't, we just can't sit back and just say that, oh, they're always at war. Like, why? Like, and how do we prevent these things from happening in the future? I don't know. But U.S.
I mean,
Stephen,
Gaza was ran by a terrorist organization called Hamas that attacked Israel on October 7th, 2023.
I remember that.
And Israel retaliated. I mean, keep in mind also, Gaza is not a large place. Gaza is about 140 miles. It's a small little space. I mean, so when you have terrorists hiding in schools and hospitals and in hundreds of miles of underground tunnels, like, what are you supposed to do to try and go after them? I mean, it's the first ground war in history that's ever been ran this way. There's a lot to it. But to your points on Trump, something he said a day or two ago about this that I thought was kind of interesting. So Peter Doocy was asking him, about getting into heaven, referring to Trump's previous comments that ending the war in Ukraine might help get him into the pearly gates. And Trump responded, I mean, I'm being a little cute. I don't think there's anything going to get me in heaven. Trump responded, I think I'm not maybe heaven bound. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to make heaven, but I've made life a lot better for a lot of people. And I thought that was a really interesting
statement right there, man.
Like, what an intro, like what an introspective, like what a I don't know. That's a very interesting response to me.
Powerful.
Interesting.
Powerful. Yeah. I don't know. It's just like, I like them more and more. I do.
But nothing good over there in the Middle East, though. That's for sure. So hopefully,
no. But we're switching our military over to the Venezuelan cartels. That should be.
Oh my gosh!
I don't think we've ever succeeded as a country fighting cartels. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens there. But hey, listen, I think if we're going to fight someone, like, let's fight the cartels.
There's a lot with that, though, with the Venezuelan cartel.
Sure,
just for those of you at home who are trying to figure out what's going on with Venezuela, obviously you've seen the missile strikes.
Sign up here for a 14-day free trial, only $49, and you can learn all about Venezuela's cartel.
No more Business Insider articles allowed.
Right. Yeah, there's a lot going on with the Venezuelan cartels. We see the missile strikes. We see them saying, "Yeah, we're hitting all these people, and it's unconstitutional. We don't have any proof or evidence." But we have to understand that the U.S. does not recognize the leader of Venezuela right now, and this could actually be almost a proxy battle that the U.S. has with China. I'll break it down for you. You see, Venezuela exports almost all of their oil to what nation? China. And China, in exchange, sends all of their military arms, a lot of like planes and armored vehicles. They sell that to Venezuela in exchange. So what could potentially happen is, even though we're striking against Venezuela and we're saying, "Hey, look, you guys got to get this in control. We don't recognize your leader." Well, unfortunately, this may actually strengthen the tie between Venezuela and China. So we have to be very, very careful. President Trump has to be very careful about how he approaches this. And some skeptics and cynics are saying this is not the best way to go after Venezuela. Venezuela also has one of the largest repositories of rare earth metals in the entire planet, and one of the largest oil reserves, even larger than Saudi Arabia as well. So this is a very pivotal point. And as I always say, like, you got to watch where the money is. There's a lot of money stored in Venezuela, and how the U.S. goes about in terms of controlling it or policing it, it goes a lot deeper than just saying it's a cartel. All right. Most drugs, fentanyl, comes over from China. We know this already. We know that things like cocaine and stuff like that comes from Colombia. So now that we've put on our thinking hats, why are we going after Venezuela in this particular manner? And that's where I think you
understand the intel. And there's just some things that, just ain't nobody got time to figure that out. And that's where I'm at. Like,
so definitely stay educated on that, everybody, for sure.
Yeah. U.S.-China trade war is an interesting one. China, it's just never going to end. It's a geopolitical push. I read a book, The End of the World is Just the Beginning, all about geopolitics, kind of full on explains what's going on right now. Past 2 weeks, China's rare earth export restrictions and President Donald Trump retaliatory announcements of 100%. It's just like, we just keep going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. It's kind of just up another day. Who cares? Up 100% tariff in China.
He'll taco.
Yeah, absolutely.
He already walked it back.
Yeah, well, that's typically what's happening. I mean, we almost have to kind of coexist with China right now, to a certain extent. I mean, you can't just flip the switch. That's my opinion. But China's in a lot of trouble. Like, China will bury themselves, and they're doing it. They just don't have the demographics to support their GDP that they need to grow. You're seeing so many cracks in the foundation, but they're communists, so you'll never know. You'll never, ever, ever know what's really going on there because they won't report the truth. There's no truth, none whatsoever. That's communism. And technically, I guess you could almost say that that's socialism in a roundabout kind of way. But, well, New York City is about to figure that one out pretty quickly. But anyway, we're not here to talk about that. Should we move on to just what the F?
Yeah.
Just what the
My fellow Americans.
What the Oh, skyscrapers. Most skyscrapers are funded by insurance companies or owned by insurance companies, but not when it comes to JP Morgan Chase, or maybe it is. This is fun. Okay, this is a fun one to talk about. A $3 billion, 60-story headquarters at 270 Park Ave. And this is in Manhattan. Like, wild. So check this out. Like, Steven, you got a photo of this beast or the drawings of what they're going to build?
I can pull it up. I refuse to click on Guardian or Business Insider articles, so let me find somewhere else.
Well, it's crazy that one of the largest banks in the world is able to buy and build one of the most premium buildings in the most expensive city in almost the entire world. So it kind of lets you know exactly what type of money that they're dealing with.
14,000 employees, project creating 8,000 construction jobs across 40 local unions. Contributes $30 billion annually to city's economy, stimulating an additional 40,000 jobs across local industries. I was trying to find a picture.
Yeah, this is from 2022, if I'm not mistaken. So I believe that the building is already built.
Might be. I mean, hey, that would make no sense or make total sense for the Guardian, right?
Why did Amazon send me
something that was built 4
$20,000?
years ago?
Because I use Amazon AI. I'm gonna.
I was gonna say, still the building. Like, love the construction workers.
Oh, that's huge.
Holy
That's a massive tower. Absolutely massive.
That's in New York City?
That's in New York City, and you need biometric data just to get inside. Big brother, please.
Yep.
You want a party here?
It's behemoth, man. Behemoth.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Stephen, what else we got for WTF? We got Carrie Bradshaw in here. We got Sora 2, Canada versus USA. Oh, I like that one. You want to talk about the home invasion stuff in Canada?
Sure.
Versus Florida. There was a video I watched. It was like, I think probably a Canadian prime minister or someone, in Canada saying, "Oh, just don't bother them. Just sort of let them into your house. Like, call the police." And then, this is epic.
In the unlikely event that you find yourself the victim of a home invasion, we are urging citizens not to take matters into their own hands. To feel powerless, we urge you to call 911 and do everything you can to keep yourself and loved ones.
Criminals, we're going to take your criminal conduct into the neighborhoods. I would tell them, if you value your life, you probably shouldn't do that in Polk County, because the people of Polk County like guns. They have guns. I encourage them to own guns, and they're going to be in their homes tonight with their guns loaded. And if you try to break into their homes to steal, to set fires, I'm highly recommending they blow you back out of the house with their guns.
So funny.
Welcome to America.
Wow. But like, seriously, like what was that statement? Stephen, you might know this. Like it was a statement, I think it was by China, where, we would never attack US on their soil because, every citizen would rise out of, the forest with guns or something. It was something to that extent because, like we still have the right to bear arms. It is one of the very unique things about the United States of America. And it is one of the biggest reasons why it's probably unlikely we would ever be attacked on our own soil, at least physically attacked. You don't have that over there in France. Canadians, man, you talk to a Canadian, you got a gun? A what? A what? They don't have any guns. Like they're not allowed to have guns. How many? I don't know. Listen, like you can say whatever you will about guns, but like it is definitely one of the things that keeps Americans safe. It really is. I don't know, Stephen. If someone broke into your house and was threatening your family, would you blow them back out of the house?
I would sure try.
Or would you just like pick a knee off at a time? One knee. How do you like that? Don't ever come into my house. Another knee.
It's hard to say how you'd respond in situations like that, but you want to put yourself in the best way possible, right?
I will say, I have guns, planted all over my house, and it makes me feel a lot more secure that if anything ever happened, I can protect my family, and that's what it's all about. End of story. Not asking for, any permission for it, just protection. Family first. Yep. Do not stand your ground. Japan. Thank you, Morgan. I almost said it was Japan, but yeah. Powerful statement. Very powerful statement. Anything else as we wrap this up, Stephen?
SpaceX shot another Starship up this week, had a good test run with that. They're saying that's going to be the way for interplanetary travel someday. But I was at baseball practice Monday evening. I saw up in the sky one of those rockets shooting across, and I was like, that's weird because usually we see them shoot off from the other direction up in Cape Canaveral, but this one shot off from Texas, and it was clear as day in the sky. So it just shows you how massive that Starship is, because it was literally like just a glowing thing going across the entire western sky from where I live. It was pretty cool to see. There was a baseball game, the Dodgers first playoff game. Let me just play the first couple seconds of this because it's a double play. It's a play you'll never see again in baseball history.
Oh, I've been wanting to see this. Yeah.
Scenarios I've ever seen play.
Pretty cool.
NLCS game 1 between the Brewers and the Dodgers. We got bases juiced, 4th inning. This one's brought to you by DraftKings, and one of the more insane scenarios I've ever seen play out in a big moment. Muncy thinks he's got a 4-run grand slam, a 4-run lead. He thinks he's got a catch. He still thinks he has a catch. He fires it to the infield. They fire it home. Everyone thought they were going to go to third to get the runner tagging up, but he's out at home. And then Contreras is going to run to third, And guess what? He's out too. Who? 2 outs. Went from grand slam to inning-ending double play. No one knows what's going on. Eyeballs are on the phone. Like, what can we do about this? Do we have any? Can we fight? What the fuck just happened?
Well, there you go. The perfect way to end the show, right?
Oh my gosh, love it. What the F? All right, folks. I hope you enjoyed this episode of What the F Happened. Join us this afternoon for 1 p.m. Eastern for the Wealth webinar, where we're going to really unpack cars and how to get all the money back for every car you buy, drive, and own. Thank you, Stephen. Thank you, James. Thank you to all of you. We'll see you this afternoon.
Don't forget to like and subscribe, guys. Thank you.
Like and subscribe.